Hello everyone, this is Deepika Gupta. My research on generating public spaces began with analyzing the drains of the National Capital Region. Delhi's topography created a drainage system that carried rain and storm water from the higher elevations of the west to the Yamuna in the east. A physiography layout of the city of Delhi shows that the drainage of the city is river-bound. The city of Delhi, on account of its undulating terrain, has a number of natural and man-made stormwater drains to ensure that city doesn't get flooded. Delhi has a total of 22 drains which comes under the three basins: Nazafgarh, Barapulla, Trans-Yamuna. The river Yamuna in Delhi stretch receives wastewater from 17 drains between Wazirabad to Okhla. Shadar drain meets the river downstream of Okhla Barrage, while other four drains discharge their wastewater into the Agra Canal. On the analysis between the Nazafgarh drain, Shadar drain and Barapulla drain, it was found that Shadar drain is below the higher flood level of Yamuna and it has the tendency of getting flooded quite often. And the current situation in Delhi is a havoc. During the monsoons, the main reason for the frequent flooding is that stormwater drains, which were acted as the natural tributaries of river Yamuna, has now been converted to storm-cum wastewater drains. These ill-advised drains conversions have hampered the city's easy and efficient drainage while also jeopardizing the biodiversity. This has played havoc with the environment and ecology associated with these drains. The aim of this study is to reimagine the drain and generate public space through redeveloping the drain edge and improve the quality of environment and create opportunities to activate the present stretch of drain. The objective is to study the sustainable and other methods to clean the drain and treat the sewage at the source, to seek solutions and to improve the quality and accessibility to the drain, and enhance the ecological biodiversity, to create spaces enhancing the connecting the edge of Shadra drain, to improve the quality of the environment, and to create recreational opportunities. The methodology is formed on the basis of 4 stages. The first stage is to study and analyze all the ecological layers of Delhi NCT: the soil, soil cover, the vegetation, green cover, and the flood lines. On overlapping these ecological layers of Delhi, eco-sensitive zones were analyzed. And then analysis is done on the existing drains of Delhi, which further helps to identify the potential site. The Yamuna Action Plan and other plans to control river pollution has never looked at the 22 open stormwater drains, which mainly flush out the NCR's waste into the Yamuna River. Hence, before taking any action for Yamuna River, it is more important to control the pollution of these drains and make them ecologically sustainable. Here, the Sharda outfall drain is taken because it is the important drain between the two cities, Delhi and Noida. It lies into the closer vicinity to Okhla Bird Sanctuary, which is eco-sensitive zone and is ecologically vulnerable. Large commercial areas of Noida lies adjacent to this drain, but there is lack of public open spaces. The drain originally came up as the Shadra Canal, which was built by Delhi Irrigation and Flood Control Department to prevent floods in the Trans-Yamuna areas. But the canal has been reduced to drain carrying the sewage from Delhi and other neighborhoods. The urban evolution of the Noida has taken like that. Here, more urbanization has been taken and the encroachment is being done on the river edge, on the canal edge. Also, the recreational areas are very vastly distributed in Noida, but these mainly green areas come under the private lands. The issues along the drain is that the canal edges are being encroached by the squatters. There is a loss of soft landscape that allows surface runoff, and the polluted canal water goes to agriculture and irrigation purposes. There is no groundwater recharge. Eastern Delhi through Noida's residential area, film city, and commercial business district before emptying into the Yamuna River. The river is ecologically sensitive due to its proximity to the Okhla Bird Sanctuary, and so reimagining it as an environmentally friendly space is very critical. When we look at the land use map of Noida, it is clear that the land use is evenly distributed, but no, that's just on the paper. The recreational green has been used by the private sector owners or some commercial and retail centers, has been constructed on the site, and this is the most disappointing part. The drain runs between the skyscrapers of Noida, but there is a hidden part of the city, the informal settlement along the drain, who call themselves Shivnagari because calling them Jhuggi Chopdi colony embarrasses them. There are no proper sewage, discharge facilities, open spaces or recreation facilities for the people who live in these settlements. They also have the right to open green spaces for recreation, the area for their leisure and psychological health, physical development and growth. Recreational area which is near to the site is majorly the commercial zone, which they cannot afford to go. The recreational spots have been identified. They are blue-green zone, commercial retail zone and the green zone, and the uses are very different. The commercial retail zone just comprises of the high income class people. They are the individuals who are living in the settlements. They also require green open spaces. Looking at the open build ratio map, we see here that how small the built up area is, but if we look at the center, we will see it's a chaos. There is no breathing space for the settlements. Informal settlements residing on the edges of the drains have their own activities, such as cleaning utensils, cooking, laundering, all of which contribute to pollution. The situation is very critical. Sewage from informal settlements, malba and other garbage is directly discharged into the drain, putting water life and the environment at risk. The water from this drain flows directly into the river. The migratory birds that visit the Okhla Bird Sanctuary are also vulnerable to this thing because construction, climate change and other factors are causing their habitat loss. The existing vegetation on the site is also very unsuitable as it primarily consists of weeds growing along the edge which does not support any habitat. On the other hand, in future, all of the evergreen trees can be restored and preserved. And also many native trees will be planted and edge will be treated with vegetation that can hold the soil. The area has been analyzed and it is just not the high-end vision on the papers that may make a greater difference. Even the smallest of changes can make a significant change in society. The project should be aimed at working with the community, keeping ecology preserved and building the connection in a holistic way. The case studies which have been taken as Himatnagar Canal, Sabarmati Riverfront and Governor's Canal, Sonchbagh. In all the three projects, it has been shown that the community comes first and the project should be more environmentally responsible, which involve community and their main issues are resolved. And one should prioritize the community needs and create the connection between their settlements. The Sustainable Development Goals, good health and well-being, clean water, sanitation, life on the water, life on land are not just to be read but to be realized. And this can be done right here. Children living in settlements have dreamt of having their own playground, swings, open gym and seating areas where they can enjoy their own gala time. But that is not happening. Rehabilitating informal settlement into some EWS is not the answer. Instead, making spaces inclusive for settlement is an important task. It is also their right. There is a need to cater the issues like sanitation requirements for settlements, address the needs of kids and old people of settlements for open spaces. Presently, the community is being disconnected from the existing spaces. Canal rejuvenation. There is scope to create a public canal at the edges of the drain and connect it with the settlement. So, the design it with water sensitive urban design initiative is more important. The three parameters are considered, which involves blue-green infrastructure, community infrastructure and that is associated with the economical activities. Under these, edge management, riparian buffer and wetland can be done under blue infrastructure. Green infrastructure involves the urban farming, green gardens and wetlands. Community infrastructure will foster the education and awareness among the residents, make a connection between the canal edge and to the community and engagement of the people into the plan. The policies which can be drawn here are those who throw garbage or malba down the drain should face severe consequences. Only treated waste from the STPs and other sources should be discharged into the sewer. Rainwater harvesting can be made mandatory. Also, financial incentives can be given to households. The proposal intends to examine the relationship of green open spaces, water body with the city, and in order to create experiment spaces and various outdoor activities for city dwellers, while remembering the disconnect that has developed towards social relationships. The concept is based on the natural sponge system, which will require the use of porous materials, trees and plants which absorb more water. Native species and floodplains are protected, filtration strips are used, wetlands are made, gardens are made. To improve the surroundings of the river banks, fountains, swales and panoramic decks, the landscape should be altered in a way that they turn into natural sponges which accommodate excess water during floods. The canal will be rejuvenated so that it continues to be in a better landscape condition. A riparian buffer zone is created around the canal to act as a sponge, collecting all the stormwater from the neighborhood. A pedestrian bridge has been designed to connect the informal community to the public realm space. Also, the DWAT system will be installed in the middle of the informal settlement, allowing the grey water from households to be treated from being discharged into the canal. So, the methods involved are collecting of the wastewater from the informal settlement, treatment of water, recycling of water, and then only the clean water used into the farms. The one side of the canal is divided into different zones to cater the diversity of the people. These are Linear Park, the Children's Zone, Peace Gardens, Plaza and the Rainforest area. Linear Park. The goal of the Linear Park is to connect urban neighborhood to connectivity within spaces, interact with the river walk, cycling lane and other passive activities such as swings, gyms and extra. Built on a 5.5 acre site, the Linear Park revitalizes the community and connects it to the canal. This is the basic plan which is shown how the area is being divided. The green barrier, walkover and recreation zone area comes between to the 58 meter of width. The linear parks has these 4 other divisions. The connection has been done with the steps, bridges and ramps. Public realm has been generated. It has been activated with walkways, swings, open gyms and participatory planning is done. Public taking part in the public spaces. The open space serves as a public space amenity by increasing the community open space widely and also provide buffering. Peace and Resting Garden. The Peace and Resting Garden is primarily intended for the elderly who can relax and enjoy the newly bloomed flora. The park heightens one's senses, make one feel calm and relaxed. The vegetation chosen for the garden is aromatic and diverse in color, soothing the senses and providing a visual treat, allowing one to fully appreciate nature. Meditation, walking, yoga and are examples of passive activities that can be enjoyed here. This garden has a variety of seasonal flowers and trees that attract a variety of wildlife and providing a relaxing and calming environment for the visitors. Walking trails for the neighborhood near the canal edge with grasslands and butterfly plants are given. To interact with water, sitting spaces are provided along the paths and water decks are given. Plaza space. The public realm zone offers a variety of activities for people of all ages and fosters a community sense of belonging to the canal. The space includes a festival gathering space, a pop-up market, an OAT and a selfie point. On the canal site, ledge walls are strategically placed, benches, organic farms and large aquarium game spaces featured. Plaza space with kitchen garden spaces and vendor space to make the space an iconic place with great opportunities for the people. The rainforest has floating wetlands has been included. Rest of the riparian edge supports the aquatic system. River walk allows user to enjoy the natural environment closure at a slower pace near the water element of the river. Through senses, symbiosis, interaction with and water body are the main feature of this area. Eco-walk is zero developed relationship with other forms of life, interaction with nature, aquatic life, vegetation, insects and birds. The Sponge Park is designed located near to a commercial area with farms, edible gardens, nurseries, cycle tracks, rain gardens and eco-walks that will develop a relationship with aquatic life, vegetation, insects and birds through interaction with them. A large farm space as well as passive recreational activities like eating and camping along the canal has been given to support the community economically. Raw vegetables and herbs are required in many of the nearby restaurants and cafes. The adjacent land, which will be used for farms and nurseries, will be able to meet those requirements without the hurts of transport and storage. The design is based on the idea of a sponge system so that the maximum amount of surface runoff and rainfall can be held. Nowadays, many private organizations are establishing sustainable business such as nursery or organic farms and expanding their operation across the country. The land adjacent to the drain has a suitable location and all the necessary components for the creation of organic farms and establishing of new business. Attracting customers. Now that we have technology in our hands, it is much easier to reach out to customers and connect with them. It is simple to market, socialize and sell products thanks to the availability of online platforms like WhatsApp Business Digital Showroom. People can start selling their products directly from the farm using apps like WhatsApp Business and Digital Showroom. In addition, one can get profit from the digital platform. The planting scheme. One of the ecological components of this project is to capitalize on the potential for increased biodiversity that would result from planting the vegetation that attracts wildlife. This helps to create a variety of habitat to support natural wildlife communities. A vigorous palette of native trees, shrubs, grasses, forbs are planted to stabilize the canal's edge to provide food and habitat for the wildlife. Vegetation like flowering trees, air purifiers, mosquito repellents and trees that attract birds are planted. The inspiration of the design has been via the conversation held with the settlers who helped to reimagine the space into a public realm. This is an attempt to create a place which is socially inclusive, ecologically conserved and preserved and a way to increase the economy. Concluding, the design provides much needed park space for active and passive recreation. A model for redefining active urban life, the park is a catalyst for residential, corporate and commercial growth and economic sustainability. The blue-green infrastructure model not only provides habitat rehabilitation but provide an opportunity to develop surrounding park space and unite the settlements with the waterfront. With the design, the meandering flow of the canal wins its way through walking paths, peace garden, plaza, rest areas and park amenities, creating a peaceful and stimulating environment for humans and wildlife. The urban and ecological cohabitation is necessary to provide mutual benefits for the settlements and surrounding environment. With a design that emphasizes sustainability, recreation, civic engagement, culture and education within an ecologically diverse and lush environment, the blue-green infrastructure will serve the city for generations to come. Thank you.